this is Anna Chi with you. Last time I told you that on the Loftbox website I ordered 2 sets. One for creating the head of a unicorn, which we already made last time, and the other for creating a Tyrannosaur that we're gonna make today. The kit comes with 10 sheets of thick paper with detailed parts, instruction paper, a metal ruler, a stationary knife and a special clear glue. First of all, we need to cut out all the details. Where there is a solid line, apply a ruler and cut it with a clear cold knife. In comparison with the unicorn figure, we have much more details, especially many small ones. Further, when all the parts are ready, we need to fold them. The dotted line marks are folded outward and the dashed dotted line marks are folded inward. Well, everything is quite simple and clear here, so you won't have any problem or complication in this. And after we've folded everything, it's time to the most complex and responsible thing, which is gluing. Well, this time I should make sure I glue everything correctly, so that the joints were inside and not on the front side as it was with the unicorn. Well, we find 2 details with the same numbers and glue them together. In this way, we'll glue all the parts of the Tyrannosaur, and it's better to do this in the numerical order. As of the complexity level, the figure of the Tyrannosaur is considered to be a complex one, and approximate time for putting it together will take around 5 to 6 hours. I'll collect the teeth separately as there are a lot of them and the details for them are very small. Well, after a long time, I finally glued the entire Tyrannosaur. It came out really big. I thought that it would be much smaller. Now our T-Rex looks a bit like an old toothless Tyrannosaur. I haven't glued the teeth yet, because first they need to be painted, then the Tyrannosaur as well, and after everything dries up, at the very end, we'll glue the teeth. For the teeth, I'm gonna be using a white acrylic paint and apply 2 layers on each tooth. To make sure that the paper is not soaked too much, after the first layer, we need to let it completely dry and then apply the next layer. Now we can move to the T-Rex. I'm gonna use a bright red paint for the snout and saturated green for the Tyrannosaur itself. Once again, I want to remind you that for such figures you can use only acrylic paint. applied the first layer with a normal brush, therefore it took less amount of paint compared to if I would have used, for example, a sponge. But for the second layer, I use a small piece of sponge, not to paint it completely, but apply the paint as if I'm making some dark spots. In this way, all the stripes from the first layer will be fully painted and the coloring itself will be much more interesting. All that remains is to color its eyes. I picked up a neutral color. I mixed this green paint with a droplet of black so that the eyes don't look too scary. And also with the same color we can sketch it close. In this way the Tyrannosaur will look more realistic. And after the paint has completely dried up, you can glue the teeth. On the upper jaw I'm gluing the bigger and the sharper ones, while on the lower jaw I'll glue the smaller ones. In total there will be 18 teeth. Our T-Rex turned out to be a huge predatory one with sharp teeth. It took me a long time to do it. Well, so that you roughly understand, the steel frame took 260 gigabytes of space, which is really huge. Such 3D paper figures can be hung on the wall, and for this it's not necessary to make a hole. They can be attached simply to the wall with the help of usual double-sided Scotch tape. The unicorn and the Tyrannosaur look pretty cool on the wall, and each 3D figure is good in its own way. For example, a unicorn will be liked more by girls, and a figure like Tyrannosaur will be liked more by boys. Well, it's not necessary for you to make a unicorn or a Tyrannosaur particularly. You can choose absolutely any other beast. Friends, if you liked this video, be sure to give it thumbs up. It was actually very difficult for me, but I'm happy with the result. Well, if you want me to make more such cool 3D figures from paper, write about it in the comments which animal you want to see next. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye!
Blah, blah.